Welcome to Goodwill. In this video presentation, we will discuss about the difference between American and European options and also in what sense this word exercise is used in the options derivative trading. What are the types of expiries we have in options, and also we will try to understand how this assignment works during expiry. So let us move into our topic. Basically, we all know that as a buyer of option you have the right and the sellers they hold the obligation. Okay, buyer has the right and seller has the obligation. What does that actually means? Let us see that with an example. Now I have added the option chain for TCS on the left hand side, and on the right hand side you see the chart of TCS shares, and it is a 1 hour chart. That means every single candlestick represents 1 hour, and now TCS is trading around 3131. And if you see the option chain, I have taken this month 2406 expiry for TCS, and what are the things you see on the left hand side, they are all called, on the right hand side they are all put. So since the price of TCS is trading around 3131, this 3100 strike will be the at the money option. The 3100 strike will be the at the money option. So assume that I am going to buy this 3200 strike. Okay, I am going to buy this 3200 strike. The premium is trading around 44 rupees. What does that mean? It means that I am a buyer of option. So as a buyer of option, I need to pay 44 multiplied by the contract lot size of 300 for TCS. So it is a debit trade. As a buyer, I am paying the seller, and the seller is going to collect this premium. Okay, that is, you should understand the difference between the rights. As a buyer, since I am paying, it is a debit trade. Since I am paying, the buyer holds the right, and the opposite side is a seller who collects the premium and he holds the obligation. So the buyer can exercise his rights when. So this 3200 is an out of money option, because when you see the chart, here this is 3200. You see this 3200 is here. Now the price is trading around 3132. The expectation is before expiry the price will move above 3200, so that the strike will be in the money. So the premium value will increase, and above 3200 it may have some intrinsic values, so that the buyer can be in profit. Now let's assume, okay, in two scenarios. One is with this example we'll try to understand about the American and European options. Assume that the price from 3130 it just moved above 3200, and maybe the last day of expiry expiry is 24, that is Thursday. Last Thursday of every month is the monthly expiry for both stocks and index options for monthly expiry. So before 2406 June, I am recording this video in the month of June 2021. So before that, in the next 10 days the price went above 3200. Assume that now it is in the money. The strike is in the money. Okay, since the price went above 3200, it will be in the money. Assume that there is no sellers. Okay, so if there is no seller, okay, what this buyer can do? He can exercise his right, and he can tell the exchange that he wants to exercise his rights. So the exchange will find a proper seller, and what the exchange will do, they will assign this right to a proper seller, because they have received the obligations. As a buyer, he has paid the premium, and the seller would have received the premium, and the seller has got the obligation. So the exchange will assign it to any seller randomly. They will allocate it, and hence the things are settled. So even though if there is no sellers, in between the expiry at any point of time, in between the expiry at any point of time, if a person can exercise his rights. And why he is exercising his rights? It is very simple, that maybe the only option is, if it is in the money, he will exercise his right. When it is in the money, okay, if there is no seller, he can exercise the right. So within the expiry, if a buyer can exercise his rights, then at any point of time within the expiry, then it is called American options. Okay, so but in India we follow European options, so you need not worry about it. But sometimes as a beginner, when you start learning, you will get this doubt about American and European options, so you need not research about that in detail. So if you want to exercise your right anywhere in between before the expiry, then it is called American option. Then why there is a necessity to to exercise your right? Because it should be in the, it may be in the money, so you are going to exercise its right. If there are no sellers, so you can exercise, and the exchange will do the rest of the job. So these types of options are called American options. But in India we follow European options. That is the reason you may see whenever you see the trading terminal in Nest or any trading platform, we use the word CEP. C call option, and E stands for European. So if it is an American option, then they would have mentioned a CAPA. Okay, that's the reason in that. So now one doubt is clear, that you know the difference between American and European option. But in European option, you can exercise only at the time of expiry, at the end of expiry, that is on that exercise date, on the last trading date, that was 24th of every Thursday, you can exercise the right in India. So European option, you can exercise the right only at the end of expiry, but in American option you can do it at any point of time. The another thing is, what are the types of expiries we have? So if you see, this is a stock TCS. If you see at the top, all the stocks have 3 expiries, 3 months contract running together, June, July, August. The next month again September will be added. So you will have a three live contract when it comes to stock. These are all monthly options. But when we talk about now I have changed this to Nifty. When you talk about Nifty, we have weekly. For example, you see here this option chain. Third, today is the expiry. Today is first weekly expiry. So you could see that all the out of money is going to 0. And if you roll down, you can see the continuous next week. So this is the weekly option in June. Then you see we have weekly options only for index, bank Nifty and Nifty. We have weekly options. And for other stocks we have only monthly expiry. But in Nifty index and Bank Nifty index alone, we have weekly, monthly, and you could see more days. We have quarterly and we have half yearly expiry also. But I don't think, it does not make any sense, because the liquidity is very poor in the next month contract itself. But theoretically you could see that for index options you have weekly, monthly, quarterly and half yearly expiries. But for other stock options you have only 3-month expiry active contracts. You have only monthly expiries. So the other doubt is, what happens, the another part is, in India we follow a different types of when it comes to assignments, we follow a different type when we compare index options with the stock options. In easy way I can tell you, index options are cash settled. For example, assume that I had purchased, let me change this to maybe I'm changing this to some index chart. Okay, now Nifty is now Nifty is trading at 15,600 93, and this is the index chart. Okay, so assume that I had purchased a 15,800 call option strike, which means that it is out of money, and during the expiry it closed around 15,900. Okay, during the expiry it closed around 15,900. Assume that it is a 100-point profit, and I didn't do anything, I left that as such. So what will happen after I didn't close the position, it's an in the money option. What I will get is it will be cash settled, which means the 100-point intrinsic value, it has a 100-point intrinsic value, that will be cash settled. The position will be square off and my account will be cash settled. This happens only for index options. Okay, only for index option it is cash settled. But when you see the stock options, what happens is, for example, assume that I had purchased at this TCS at 3,100 strike, and the price went above 3,200. I have purchased a 3,200 call option, which is out of money call option, and now the price is around 3,130. The closing is around 3,300. And as a buyer of call option, what will happen is, I need to take a delivery of this particular stock. It will not be cash settled. When it comes to stock options, you should remember that this is not cash settled. You cannot claim, you cannot say that I don't want the shares, I want only the money. You cannot do that. The contract size multiplied by the strike price you have selected, okay, you should pay that amount, entire amount, and the share will be delivered by the seller. It will be assigned to a seller and it will be delivered. So you should take physical delivery of these shares. Okay, so if you are a put option buyer, then you need to give that amount of shares to the sellers. So it works very different. So if you are a beginner, during expiry, what normally the brokers do, before 1 week of expiry, they will charge, even though you are a buyer of option, you have paid the entire premium amount and it is a debit trade. When you are very close to the expiry, within 1 week, the broker will be charging huge margins. He will ask you to keep sufficient amount of margin equivalent to the amount of the actual physical product which is going to be delivered. So you need to have the entire margin. Slowly and steadily he will increase the margin to the 100%. So that after expiry there will not be any issues. What you need to do is, don't hold your position. If you don't have any idea to take this delivery, please don't allow the price to go for in the money option. If it is going into in the money, please square out the position before expiry, before maybe 3:30. You don't wait for 3:30, at least before 3:15 p.m. you square off your position and book your profit. But if it goes for crosses after 3:30, then it will be assigned to you and you should take the physical delivery if you are a call option buyer, and you should deliver this entire stock if you are a put option buyer. So that is a catch between how the stock options work and how the index option works. So be careful. So better to avoid trading in stock options which is near to expiry. Okay, but normally as a buyer, so why we are making this explaining this in detail is, see, buyers normally they go for buying just because the investment is very low, the premium value is low, they go for out of money options. But suddenly if you ask for paying the entire contract value, so that's quite difficult. Okay, so take this in good sense. So that's all we have for today's discussion. We have discussed about how the things are assigned, what is the difference between the American options, stock options, what are the different types of expiry we have. So kindly open trading account with Goodwill. Kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel. For account opening, please give a missed call to 937 927. Thanks a lot for watching our videos. Happy trading. Take care. Bye.